Where we at? Okay, so do you guys remember where we left off with talking about Blue Beam? In a sense. So I wanted to just some examples. Now, who remembers this particular ad that was outside of the gaming awards here? You know what? I'm not doing this any justice by doing it this way. I ain't never doing it justice by doing it that way. Just a small example, right, of what I'm talking about, right? When I say they are preparing those drones to do some heavy damage to our minds. The fact that we are seeing these drones sporadically into the atmosphere internationally should tell you all that Project Bluebeam is being set up right in front of your faces. Literally. Project Bluebeam is being set up right in front of your faces. In so many ways, they have been telling you this. Yo, what the fuck? Behind you. Look at that. Scared someone shitless. Scared someone shitless. And this was someone just driving by. Someone just driving by a regular apparition portal. Like, they are fucking with people's brains, literally. I can't play that music. I don't know why that's so loud. But again, this is just 3D board. This is just a 3D digital board here. Augmented reality has gotten so advanced, and none of us have paid attention to it. Literally, none of us have paid attention to it. Oh, this was what I was looking at earlier, too. A mechanical bull in Spain with Spanish women. You can only imagine. Yes, this is on YouTube, okay? This is just on YouTube. But this was alive. I don't know why they would do... Well, I know what I did it. This is late night, so of course... A good idea to do it. But anyway, that was originally with my form of entertainment tonight. But anyway, again, back to what I was talking about. So, let's pull up Bluebeam's manuscript real quick. Oh, look at this. A whole News Nation article that says, what is the Project Bluebeam drone conspiracy theory? Drone sightings have been consistent in New Jersey. Why? Now, what? I didn't even know that they ran this article recently. What is the Project Bluebeam drone conspiracy theory? This is newsnation.com, y'all. Drone sightings have been consistent across New Jersey. It has spread beyond the Northeast to Ohio and San Diego. State and local officials are calling for greater transparency.
Remains scarce, even as some officials now say they have seen the drones firsthand. News Nation's Rich McHugh joins us live from New York this morning with more. Rich, you've been talking to a lot of different people, a lot of different sources about these drones. Where have they been seen? What are officials saying this morning? We need the latest.
Good morning, Marky. So this is just such a baffling story. We're a month into this whole intrigue, and the number of these drone sightings is increasing. Military installations are now reporting them. Airports are now reporting them, and so few answers from actual federal officials. Ohio's Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, they closed their airspace due to drones. Stewart Airport in New York shut down their runway for an entire hour due to drone activity. The Department of Defense has confirmed sightings at Picatinny Arsenal and Naval Weapons Stations Earl in New Jersey, but defense officials say they have no intel that indicates these drones are malicious or for a foreign actor. But at the same time, they say they don't know where they're from. Now, I spoke with a sheriff of Ocean County, New Jersey. His team is sending up their drones to investigate. He says he got a call from an officer who called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean, which ended up getting the Coast Guard involved. Take a look.
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer.
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
Now, when we were reporting in Red Bank, New Jersey, we received numerous tips, video tips from residents like this, who say they kept seeing flying objects like the one you see here, like right overhead Red Bank, New Jersey. We filmed a few miles away, several spots not far from Naval Weapons Station Earl, and we're quite sure we were seeing the same unusual stuff that people had been reporting. Low flying, appear to hover above residential areas. Over the past few days, I've looked at flight radar during those hours in proximity to where we were. It did not show planes overhead. There were planes nearby, miles away, though. I also spoke with multiple drone and aviation experts and asked them to look at our footage in the spirit of transparency. A CEO of a drone company told me he believes they're planes, what we were seeing. But I spoke with an aviation expert, a pilot of 43 years, both military and commercial. He said the exact opposite, that he sees drones. So bottom line, Marky, we don't know. We simply don't know. And it's what makes this story so difficult to report and why we need answers from our federal government. And we're not getting them.
And if there are dozens or hundreds of them.
And see, what's so funny about this, what is so hilarious to me, right? When they first came out, it was drones. I was like, so you're just going to let these things go unregulated? That's not smart, right? But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. It's the fact that the American people literally have no type of, how can I say this right? A lot of the general masses don't want to actually say, let me look up what this could possibly be. But now I see that they're actually running an article that's literally saying, what is the Project Bluebeam drone theory on News Nation? Dog. Project Bluebeam is a conspiracy theory dating back to the 1990s, but some believe the current drone sightings are a sign of it coming to fruition. What is Project Bluebeam? I'm glad that they actually are running that too. Canadian journalist Serge Menas is credited with coming up with the theory of Project Bluebeam. Of course, we're going to discuss more of Project Bluebeam this evening. So I'm glad that News Nation is running an entire article. See, this is the type of thing that I need right here. This type of thing that I need right here. This type of firepower that you need right here. 50 drone sightings prompt New Jersey sheriff to action. So here's the thing, right? And I had sent myself something earlier that I'm going to be looking at. But I want to pull up Project Bluebeam, the documentary, one more time. For those that have not seen it in the chat before, I would like to pull that up and take a look at that real quick, because we're going to be looking at some key things that are inside that documentary. Where's my part one at?
Canadian government official is warning we may be on the verge of intergalactic war. saying, quote, the Bush administration has finally agreed to let the military build a forward base on the moon, which will put them in a better position to keep track of the comings and goings of visitors from space and to shoot at them if they so decide.
I was introduced to the late Dr. Wernher von Braun in the U.S., the father of rocketry. In my first meeting with him, during that first 3.5 hours, he said to me, Carol, you will stop the weaponization of space because...
Now, here's the thing, right? I done showed y'all this video, what, like 4 or 5 times now, right? But the more I show it to y'all, the more the shit makes sense, don't it? I had to let that be a pregnant pause real quick. The more I show this to y'all, the more that the shit they're saying in the news and the drones that y'all seeing right now, the more this shit starting to make sense now, don't it?
There is a lie being told to everyone that the weaponization of space is now first being based upon the evil empire, the Russians. There are many enemies, he said, against whom we're going to build this space-based weapon system. The first of whom was the Russians, which was existing at that time. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids. And then he would repeat to me over and over. And the last card, the last card, the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.
Pardon me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but doesn't this make sense? I mean, if in fact there are extraterrestrials and they're buzzing our planet, why wouldn't we want to take steps to defend ourselves from them?
The rapture is one of the most controversial topics in all of theology. Some Christians believe in it, all atheists mock it, and the New World Order may very well attempt to fake it. What would discourage Christians more than seeing New Agers, Buddhists, cult leaders, and corrupt con artist Christians raptured, while the Bible-believing faithful are, in essence, left behind? Why wouldn't the New World Order attempt to unite all the world's religions behind one deity by including them all in such an apocalyptic event? Surprisingly, the U.S. government actually admits to thinking about the use of this technology, though it denies it's followed through with such implementation. In an article entitled Bees on the Battlefield and Other U.S. Military Experiments, published by the British news agency The Guardian on June 18, 2007, it discusses strange government projects, and I quote, "Then there's the prophet hologram, the projection of the image of an ancient god over an enemy capital, whose public communications have been seized and used against it in a massive psychological operation." An Israeli cybernetics expert named Yitzhak Hayutman has even gone as far as to lobby the Arab world to allow him to project a holographic temple above the Dome of the Rock in an effort to summon whichever savior should take notice of it and actually show up. But does it even matter? Does this technology even exist? Or is it just crazy conspiracy theory? Let's take a look at the Army Research Lab, Adelphi, Maryland's progress report from November 96 through August 97. The session number ADA 3338490. The topic?
Okay. So, let's look that up. ADA 338-490, right? Let's take a look at that. Okay. Oh, gotcha. So, as you can see here, Defense Technical Information Center. 3D holographic display using strontium, barium, niobate. This is the actual website. And we see that symbol here, don't we? I'll just open up a new tab to see where it's at. The Defense Technical Information Center. 3D holographic display using strontium barium niobate. In an innovative technique for generating a three-dimensional holographic display using strontium, barium, noivate, SBN is discussed. The resultant image is a hologram that can be viewed in real time over a wide perspective or field of view. The holographic image is a free-form system, induced operations, and has a uniform, high quality over the entire field of view. The enhanced image quality results from using a phase conjugate red, using a phase conjugate red beam generated from a second, what's this say? Oh, this is a huge one right here. Make sure I say this right. Photorefractive. Okay. So, using a phase conjugate red beam generated from a second photorefractive? Okay, photorefractive crystal. From a second photorefractive crystal. Okay. I need to know what that is, though. I want to know what that is. So the refractive effect is a non-linear optical effect seen in certain crystals and other materials that respond to light by altering their refractive index. So pretty much, okay, so I get what they're saying now. So, all right, so using a phase conjugate red beam generated from a second photorefractive crystal acting as a double pumped phase conjugate mirror. Okay, so what it's going to do is, what they're trying to say with that is, right? You know how a crystal has its different prisms and each one has its own little like reflective light in a sense? Or should I say own little side of reflective light? That's pretty much what they're saying, how it's going to project all over the world as far as the field of view for everyone to see. It's going to be a photorefractive light, photorefractive crystal that is reflecting off of, using the satellites, of course, and the strontium barium niobate from the actual chemtrails. So the drones are pretty much how they've come into play, is not only from helping the additional coinciding hand in hand, making this big giant LED screen in the sense for us to actually, be manipulated in the sky with the augmented reality. So that's pretty much what they're saying with this definition. It's a full breakdown of how they're actually going to project this in the sky. So you can't say, oh, how are they actually doing this? This is a full breakdown definition of how they're going to be actually doing it. So acting as a double pump phase conjugate. So Fury B, this pretty much will make sense, a lot more sense to you, of course, being that you are in the gaming design world. You know exactly what we're talking about as far as some of these things here. So multiple three-dimensional images have been stored in the crystal via wavelength multiplexing. See what it says right here? Multiple three-dimensional images have been stored in the crystal already. So they can pretty much make that bitch look like anything they want to. Similar how they have, I'll give you a perfect example of how the photoretractive crystals look. So Vegas Spear. So you see how it looks without the projecting around it? That's the shell inside of it, right? That's pretty much what Project Bluebeam is. It's a bunch of photoretractive crystals around this one thing right here. That's why so many people can see it from so far away. But that's why it's also able to do the augmented reality tricks with people's mind that it also does as well. Okay, so All right. So again, now we have a full breakdown, and we have full proof that this is from, again, the Defense Technical Information Center. Okay? They have the knowledge. They have the knowledge, y'all. They have the technology and the knowledge. I'm only here to present more of it.
3D holographic display using strontium barium niobate. Its abstract states, an innovative technique for generating a three-dimensional holographic display using strontium barium niobate is discussed. The resultant image is a hologram that can be viewed in real time over a wide perspective or field of view. The holographic image is free from system-induced aberrations and has a uniform high quality over the entire field of view. Interesting. Well, we've seen the chemtrails, and there's a lot of speculation about what they're being used for. Weather control and mind control are at the top of the list. But as you'll see in a second, chemtrails have been directly linked to barium, which is one of the main components of the Army's 3D holography display.
Could a strange substance found by a Southwest Arkansas man be part of a government test? Well, that's the question at the heart of a phenomenon called chemtrails, now getting widespread attention. Well, tonight, KSLA News 12 investigation reporter Jeff Farrell shows us the results of testing we had done about what's in our skies.
It seemed like some mornings it was just crisscrossing the whole sky. It was just like a giant checkerboard.
Bill Nichols snapped several photos of the strange clouds from his home in Stamps, Arkansas. They begin as normal contrails from a jet engine, but do not fade away like a normal contrail. Soon after, he saw particles in the air.
You know, because we'd see it drop to the ground in a haze.
Nichols then noticed the material collecting on the ground.
This is water and stuff that I collected in bowls. I had it set out in my backyard on my dad's pickup truck.
KSLA News 12 had the sample tested at a lab. The results? A high level of barium, 6.8 parts per million, more than 3 times the toxic level set by the EPA.
According to Section 5.6 of a military research paper entitled An Operational Analysis for Air Force 2025, an application of value-focused thinking to future air and space capabilities, military brainstorming as of May 1996 was researching, constructing, yet again, another holographic projection system. This time they were looking to implement an airborne holographic projector that would display a three-dimensional visual image in a desired location removed from the display generator. The projector can be used for psychological operations and strategic perception management. It is also useful for optical deception. The picture you see here speaks for itself. This isn't depicted as a ground-based weapon, but rather one that would project a deceptive image hologram in the air. Could the chemtrails play a role in this? I'm no scientist, so I can't tell you absolutely yes or even maybe. But the chemical connection, barium, along with the military's own documents, lead me to think in that direction. But if they've got some kind of crazy projection system, that in and of itself isn't going to convince anyone of anything. Unless, of course, God is a mute and he's going to come in complete silence. Let's face it, even the most action-packed movies are boring without some kind of a stunning soundtrack. Well, just in time for it to be exploited in the very same way, the technology now exists to beam sound right into your head. Strategy.com reports in an article entitled Death Ray Replaced by the Voice of God that the U.S. Navy is using non-lethal systems called LRAD, or Long Range Acoustic Device. This is being used right now in the Persian Gulf. Many small fishing and cargo boats ply these waters, and it's often hard to get the attention of the crews. With LRAD, you just aim it at a member of the crew and have an interpreter speak to the sailor. It was noted that the guy on the receiving end was sometimes terrified, even as he realized it was a large American destroyer that was talking to him. This apparently gave the Army guys some ideas, for there are now rumors in Iraq of a devilish American weapon that makes people believe they are hearing voices in their heads. And then there's the A&E television series called Paranormal State, which used a clever combination of a large billboard and cutting-edge technology to beam frightening ads directly into people who were walking near the show's billboard in the heart of New York City. The advertising website MediaBuyerPlanner.com writes in an article entitled "Billboard Whispers into Pedestrians' Ears for A&E's Paranormal State" that an ad for A&E's ghost-themed series Paranormal State uses technology to transmit an audio spotlight from the rooftop speakers in New York's Soho directly into the ears of passers-by. Here's a sample showcasing how this concentrated sonic beam works.
I had no idea my old ad.
Who's there? It's not your imagination. Who's there? Who's there?
There are literally dozens of patents dealing with ways of beaming sonic transmissions directly into people's minds.
Okay, so real quick, also, New Eyes, what's going on? What's going on? So, not gonna lie, if I were the military, I'd be pumping TV off through those weapons at the ops 24/7 on loop. That's funny as hell. So, real quick, also, wanted to say, or should I say, show that another person that has been letting everyone know about these drones. Remember when I told you guys about what Dick Gregory said about the red tie, blue tie? Notice how you've been seeing nothing but what? Blue tie Donald Trump. And blue tie Donald Trump pretty much doesn't give a fuck. He's just been letting you know exactly what's been going on.
Drones that are flying around. Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening.
American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening.
American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went.
People have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense.
Notice how he said that. Now, also, I want to point out, once again, red tie, blue tie, right? Blue tie don't give a fuck. Red tie is I'm the president and I'm going to get this done and nothing and with the wall and the immigrants and taking the... Blue tie Trump is, yo, all right, what y'all want? Yeah, the government knows exactly what the fuck going on with the drones. The military knows what's going on with the drones. Look, the shits can go park in the garage if they want to. They know how to fly the shits, whatever have you. Look, if they wanted to tell you what the fuck was going on, they would. Our president, notice how he even said our president. Nigga, you about to be the president in 20 days. What are you talking? Like, this isn't even the same Trump. This ain't even the same fucking Trump that was just talking all that shit. Look at it. It's two Trumps. But besides that, notice how he is literally telling you, look, the government know what the fuck the drones are. The military know what the drones are. I don't know why they won't tell you. Shit, I know what they are. They just need to tell y'all.
I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast.
Thank you. Fucking thank you. It's not Ukraine. It's not the fucking Russians. It ain't China. It ain't nobody. It's us. The fucking drones are us.
It. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster.
Want to know the
truth? They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Notice how he said that. That was all I needed to hear. Have you received a briefing on the drones? I don't want to comment on that. That was all I needed to hear. That's it. That's all you needed to hear. Trump telling you himself. Trump is telling you himself. Yo, the government knows what the drones are. The military knows what the drones are. I don't know why they won't tell you. I wish they would just tell y'all already. Have you been briefed on it? Yeah, I don't want to talk about that shit. Yes, I got briefed on it. I don't want to talk about it, though. Dog, they literally letting y'all know what's about to happen. That's another thing. Thank you, Fury Fierce, for bringing that up. Didn't he have another attempt on his life the other week? That's another reason why you seen him up there looking all nonchalant and worried, and with the our president shit. They've been trying to kill this nigga for the past 3 months. The first time they fucked up publicly, it had to do a huge damage control at the hands of the head of security. And said, bitch, how did you get hired? Who hired you? Like, and then they tried to shoot this nigga at his golf course. Like, they've been trying to kill this nigga for months. Trump is literally 50 Cent of the presidency. They have been trying to erase this nigga for a while and can't. The first time they fucked up in the stock market, they went up by accident. And they said, oh shit, we didn't mean to show y'all that. The nigga Trump stock went up. Because he got shot. Or shot at. Yes, about 3 or 4 different times now they done tried to kill this nigga in the past 3 months. And failed miserably every single time. That nigga said, I heard shots, and left that golf course immediately. He left that golf course immediately. He said, oh, I heard gunshots. Why are you hearing gunshots at your big-ass golf course at your house? Who gonna bust Luigi out? Ain't nobody busting Luigi out. Mario better get Luigi ass out. That's who. Luigi is his goose is cooked. His goose is cooked. You were the fall guy for this whole bullshit. You just gonna stay there. Anyway, the government don't want to tell y'all what the drones are for the simple fact that they are getting ready to get Project Bluebeam ready for everyone to see. Project Bluebeam is going to terrify people. I'm telling y'all right now. That's why I keep drilling this Project Bluebeam shit into y'all head, because I don't want y'all to be that surprised. There's going to be some people that's literally going to fucking drop dead from this shit. I just want y'all to understand and be prepared for that. There's people that's going to drop dead from this. You want to talk about epilepsy and seizures and all that other shit? There's people that's going to be unalived from the site of Project Bluebeam. The fact that they are literally giving y'all the hint of the alien invasion should be enough to tell you, let me do a little bit of research on what Bluebeam is, number one. Two, augmented reality. That's why I drill the augmented reality thing into y'all head, because it's not enough people that know what the fuck augmented reality is. That's why I showed y'all that Osgard's Wrath 2 advertisement at the Game Awards, because that is them letting you know, yo, we have some high-powered shit. If we talking about drones going all over the globe and just a small amount, just a small amount of drones showed that Gaming Awards ad for you. Just a small amount of drones did that with holographic projections. And now that I've learned what this is now, the photoretractive crystals. Small amount of drones assisted with that particular show. But still, number one, here's the key factor I want y'all to remember about this too. Did you see the drones? No, right? That's because when this show get popping, them drones gonna disappear. It's gonna be the perfect spectacle and looking of the second coming, because you're gonna have the literal rapture of people ascending, and you're gonna look at it like people are falling and it's really a fucking drone or a holographic display of a person falling. But you are looking at apparitions of people going up and some falling. The second coming is what you're going to be, a fake mockery of the second coming is what you're going to be witnessing. And people need to take heed to what Project Bluebeam is. Number one, how it's going to start. 2, how it's going to develop. 3, the overall outcome. And 4, what you are going to do once it's all said and done.